All right, all right. We back again, DSC Podcast. It's your boy, Mr. Perez.
It's your boy Cash, man. What's going on, good people?
Yeah. And we back again, sitting down another one of these only the classics.
Yeah.
This time, I think it's one of our low-key favorites. It may not be here.
Oh, this high key. This is one of my favorite spitters of all time. This is Beanie Sigel, the B.Coming.
Yep.
Man.
So why the third album, not the first, The Truth?
Like you said, man, these guys progress, and The Truth is the obvious choice as far as classic, and that is a classic. No, I wouldn't say it isn't, but
I definitely agree. Yeah, it's definitely up there. You got your artists, and they it's rare that they
it's rare that they go 3 albums in and they still progressing. And again, Beanie isn't the superstars of the superstars, but he is one of those spitters that everybody recognizes being one of those guys that you just don't want to get on the track and slip up with. So he's progressed, becoming, and you go back to The Reason, then you go back to The Truth. All 3, you can argue, could be classic material. I really would argue those. You know what I mean? So he got better every time around.
And I just think just the executive producing on this, Dame Dash, shout out to him. But he just perfect beat selection. Just we talk about like Killer Mike and LP on the Run the Jewels, just how they just married together. It felt like that same way on each one of these beats on here, man. It was just like not big name production every time, but perfect beat.
Yeah, and like I said, man, a lot of that probably has to go to Beans, because I don't think you go 3 albums with very, very solid material without having an ear for beats. It reminds me of, and this is the first person that comes to mind when you're talking about beat selection, when you think about The Game. As much as people get on them, the beat selection is impeccable, man.
Yep. True that. So when did this album come out? What, 2005?
Yeah, 05.
So
man.
this is after Jay, the left the rock.
Yeah, when it was really clear that he was gone at this point.
So he's over Def Jam, and now they need a new breadwinner on the label.
Right. So of course, at this time we're thinking that could it be Beans? Could he do it? But a year prior to the album coming out of sorts, he caught a charge. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
By the time this album actually came out, he actually was living his album cover. He actually was in the cell at that time and couldn't enjoy the success. And I think that's another reason why this album is highly slept on, because he wasn't really out to promote it. All he had was the music, and The Rock did the best they could and Dame Dash is to be applauded. A lot of people think Dame is an asshole, but to put this out and get that video out and roll it out the way they did, man, I think they set Beanie up for sure.
Man, we talk about this like in a past podcast, though. It's like MJ, what do people consider him? Being an asshole and all this stuff. Like, sometimes you need those type of people to push you to get the best out of you.
Yeah, and to ride for the team. Yep.
Yeah. So let's go and jump into this. So we got the first track, Feel It in the Air.
Yeah, man, that's I was looking at the views on it on YouTube. It's well into like 39 million or something like that. So we ain't the only ones that feel this song, and it's just so many different places you could go, Prez. But I'll let you start it off on what you felt about the track, and I'll double back.
So first off, it's produced by who?
Heavy D.
Like what? Like where did Heavy D come from on this?
But Heavy D did produce a lot for his own team when he was in the game and doing the Uptown vibe. You know what I mean? So, man, but yeah, continue on.
Yeah. So the song basically talking about a lot of tension in the air. What you're gonna do? Are you gonna back down? What's gonna happen? So I got that line up in there. What I know you can't, don't, won't get it. Yeah, man. This classic song just off the jump.
Yeah, man. It's and again, this was about somebody kind of snitching on him and giving him up. And if you've seen the video, you know what it is. But for me, I took it as, I always internalize these raps into my life and what it means. And I always listen to this song when I'm going through something in my relationships or friendships, when things rub me the wrong way. And then just like in terms of perseverance, I ain't the captain of the yacht, but I'm on a boat. Ninjas acting what I'm not, knowing that I don't, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you still amongst those stars. You got like got line after line that like, yo, when I be in the emo mode, this be it for me.
Yeah.
These are the songs. And then again, Beans was really living that album cover. So you felt every single thing in this because he had to be making this album up from what he was going through because he knew he was probably gonna, take this charge. You know what I mean? It could have been 3 years, but he ended up doing a year. But
So this is the first song, so it's the intro, right?
yeah,
We always talk about this. These intros, you got to come with it, come with classic, grab them from the jump, and like this one, this whole song is just, man. Anytime you think Beans, it's this song, It is. So it's just right off the jump. All right, so let's jump into the second song. I Can't Go On This Way with featuring Freeway and Young Chris.
Back to back. Here we go. Now we moving. You know what I mean? So they trying to make sense of the relationships and different things like that are dwindling in their lives. So everybody brought something unique to the song, but for me, the line that was unique to me is in my personal life, I was going through something with my baby mama at the time. So when he was like, my baby mama give me drama on the daily, like she making it rarely, my kids is eating barely, man. That's how I felt because I was doing everything I could do, but baby mama things sometimes they not mature at the time, so you can be doing all the things right. So that line hit me at the core, man.
And just following that, like that same line, I think it was like the same verse. It was like, if you put puppies in the oven, do they make them biscuits? Put hungry dogs in the kitchen, will they eat the kittens?
Do you catch the lines in the hooks, or is you still fishing?
And we know Jaden kind of flipped that line a couple of different ways too, so man, those just powerful words right there, man. Like he was coming with it, just barring them right there.
With that said, man, like I said, everybody brought it. So when Freeway came on, I'm like, oh, free killing, but he only had the bridge, and then that was excellent because Chris came in in grand opening, grand closing. It was just like, I don't know if people notice, and we can get into this if we ever have a Rockefeller podcast where we talk about their lineage and stuff like that. But this is where you really felt like, yo, Chris can be one of those ones because he was saying stuff well beyond his years in these verses, man.
Man, and you know how I feel about that, man. I always felt like once Young Chris came on
the flow changed.
J Flow
changed.
J Flow started to change. So I think that had a lot to do with Young Chris. But hey, that's
the one line that I love from there, and again, it takes you to a certain place, where you like, mom bills ain't getting paid, and then your kids ain't situated. I can't go. Like, it was just the raw emotion in that to where you could feel like, yo, I'm on the come up. I'm at the verge, of this, but I'm not quite where I want to be because my kids aren't up in the hills too. So excellent second track to start off an album.
Yeah. And then just, man, SP. Like, this was just like them own too, man.
This
like,
is top shelf state property.
Man, they was just on. So next one, one shot deal featuring Redman.
One shot, one kill. Hit you with the one shot still. Bullets lift you up like I'm popping on Yo, that's how you dance on the track. That's how you play with them pockets and you get in and out. You know what I'm saying? And then he got the legend on here, Redman, who
and then it was like way past the 16 too. Like he
let him go. That's how you know Beans ain't care. And then at this time, Redman isn't really popping because Redman is on the back end of his career. Yeah. So to come back and for us to hear him at that time, we like, okay, Red is still a problem.
Yeah. And then he addressed Jay-Z not being on the rock at this time too with the Rock will Fight Jay ain't work shit.
And then but yo, another dope thing about this track, they always shout out Chad West, and if you like really into state property and just any one of their individual albums, like he's all over their stuff as far as just producer credits. He may not have actual full songs, but he also did No Better Love with the Young Guns and then Get Down with Killer Cam. So those are some excellent productions. So he's for me 3 for 3.
Oh yeah, this is definitely 3 for 3. Like just going in. Like, and all right, next song, Gotta Have It. P crack cocaine.
So this song is just totally about nothing. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be able to rock out these songs as just dope ass beats and dope ass rhymes, right? You got to be able to rock those out. So yeah, Pete crack cocaine. I love Petey, man.
Yeah, man. It's so smooth,
Yeah,
man.
I wish he would have dropped a full length album while he was on the rock. But yo, if y'all out there, man, just give us. I didn't follow his mixtapes as closely as I should have, but yo, if y'all know a great mixtape by Petey that we can go back and revisit just for our sake, let us know, man. Cause damn, I love Petey raps, man.
Man, when you go back and listen to this, you realize, like, oh, Petey just every time he come in, he just like still.
And it's his lingo. It's his lingo. It's not even the what he's saying. It's how he's saying it. His style. It just comes off, man. So Pete Crack, if you listening, man, I hope you're still doing your thing out there, man. But you wish you would have had an album on rock, man, because they would have did wonders with you, bro.
Yeah. So next up, Don't Stop featuring Snoop.
Okay.
On the hook.
Yeah.
That's all he was.
Yeah. But this one right here, man, this is where it dipped a little bit because it felt like just a throw in Neptune's track. Mm-hmm. Now I know you gotta in the classic. Most people assume every single song is fire. We here to debunk that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Every single song ain't top shelf, but this isn't. This is where it dipped for me. But just because of the Neptune's production was average on this one.
But it's like so when we say like they dip, it's like a dip in like the quad because he came out the jump just shooting. You got feeling there. I can't like the first 4 songs was just like bumping, and this one just take it down a notch a little bit, but it's still like you ain't skipping this. It's a Neptune beat featuring Snoop. It just rides, it just flows. So it got a couple of lines up in here. Keep 3 shooters like the Mavericks. Yeah. So you talking about what that was Nash, Finley, and Dirt.
Yeah, Dirt. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But you know, I dig it, but I like the flow. So it was like a flow throwback to Big. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where it was. So that's kind of like the little player shit that Big would do and slow down the flow. So I could appreciate the ode to Big.
So I know nobody was wearing Reeboks and stuff really around this time, but this is just like really dead on this one when he threw out there like you softer than a Reebok classic. Just the disrespect. The disrespect.
Oh, man. But yeah, man. Dope feature as far as Snoop or the hook. Like they carried it. It's a good song. Just not my one of my favorites off the album.
Okay. Next up, we got Purple Rain featuring Bun B.
Man, if you was a young impressionable listener at this time, I don't know how you could not want to sip lean after this. Nah, I'm just playing. We don't advocate that, but bro,
the scissor love continues, but I'll be damned if this song don't just like
it ride, man. Sometimes songs that have an ignorant message, sometimes they just fire, man, and you just gotta deal with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool, but
I think what he did point out on here was everybody was leaning that it's more of like a Southern thing, Texas and everything. So that's reason had Bun B and stuff on the track. So perfect play on that. We know the whole deal with Pimp C and what happened to him with Lean. But Beanie was talking about it was already in his family. Like he had an uncle and stuff that was on it well before, so he was exposed to it way before the South just kept pushing it up and everything.
Yeah, and again, man, it was just like Bun B, as usual, always on point, man. He had a fire verse, man. And I was just like how he ran down how DJ Screw put him on. It kind of made me sad listening back to it as we were preparing to view it, like how Lean has taken so many different rappers down, Beans included, because Beans did suffer from a drug problem, and Lean was one of the things, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, the song in my late 30s versus when I was in my 20s, 2 totally different feelings, but I still know that this song is one of the best ones on this album.
So keep going. Number 7, Oh Daddy, featuring Young Chris.
Who hurt Chris?
Bro. that line, unfaithful.
He said it with a passion, like
you mess with that. I was blazing.
Yeah, like it really happened, and I believe that verse really happened, man. Or somebody just told him, a producer, in the room, hey man, say that shit with your chest like you mean it.
Yeah, woo. Because he came out with it on that, bro. You felt him big time. Like, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, this at this point in the album, man, this is where you earn your stripes. This is where you start settling in, and then everybody's like, yo, I'm locked in for the entire album, because I don't think that there's one weak song. And we at track number 8 right now, right?
Yeah, we're going into 8.
We in 8 with Change. So they both killed it, man. Just talking about their relationships and how, they're spoiling their women, so to speak, and being cheated on in Chris's situation.
Man, every time. Like, listen to that song and tell me you don't feel Chris pain.
Hey man, if you ever been a fella, man, you've been cheated on. You know what Chris going through, man. I felt him. It happened to me.
So 8 Change. So this was Ain't Living Right, but gotta make that switch. This is that type of song that you gotta go through. So he got a line up now with you went to church and took a different route. You got your truth out the bishop mouth. Like that's the route you went. He was in the streets a little bit, so he learned his a little bit different. But yeah, what you think about it?
Change, man. It was excellent production, great storytelling. Like, that's just classic Beans, and he's in his introspective bag with this, letting you know a little bit of what has happened to him, a little bit of what happens in the ghetto, and being very descriptive in what he's saying. And then again, man, these bring back the 3 verse songs. I want to just say that as I'm reviewing it, because like almost every song had 3 verses on it, and he left nothing to be wasted. So even the songs that are later in the album, they're dope, man. So I'm feeling change.
The second verse of this one was like going from talking about like the woman side, like you may be clean, but the people that you like, the relationship that you in may be a little dirty. So you think you're gonna come out of it clean if you get locked up. Ain't gonna go that route. Everything's in your name too. Right. So hey, if it's done at your house, you're gonna get caught up in the mix too.
Right, and he was getting into how she was cool, or like often ladies who deal with dope boys are cool with being with them when the riches and everything's coming in. But once you kind of settle into that lifestyle, then you want things to start being a little bit different, and for him to act a little bit different once they get a certain affluence. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but no, I'm still the same dude. I'm still out here grinding in the streets, and whether it's right or wrong, change is gonna come, but it may not be the change that you want.
Yep. Number 9, Bread and Butter.
Where they go find Sadat X and Grand Pooba?
Grand Pooba, like,
man, slow down.
And the flow he adopted just like mirrored like Grand Pooba flow so well on this. Like, yeah.
This is just Beans just going back and doing his research on legends, man. Grand Pooba and Sadat X, man. I remember my pops bumping them a lot as I was growing up as a youngin'. So, but they fit the song so well. In my mind, I'm thinking, yo, why Beans go get Sadat X and Grand Pooba like at this time? Because as a young dude, they were probably slightly before my era of listening to hip hop. Mm-hmm. But now, you appreciate them a lot more. But the marriage that they made on this song was great, man. The different voices and different verses, man. So
production by Just Blaze. And the one line up in here too that he talked about, man, that you feel just like, hey, because like you said, when you adapt it to your life or whatever, you just like, hey, that one, you been treating her right, giving her everything, you bring her around the boys, she the one. Then you find out that she was cheating or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I think on that he's like, I brought you around Hove and the label. Like the emphasis that he put on that was just like, yeah, I brought you around my boys. Like you were supposed to be it.
Yeah, you know what I've been through in real life. Yeah. So I felt bread and butter, And then he tried to off Beans like Rothstein, go figure. Spend my dough. Oh, take my dough and spend with the next ninja. You crazy bitch. Mm-hmm. Like, man, like I felt that was almost like the young Chris line to where I felt like it was true.
You know where that was from, right? Remember in like the movie Casino?
Oh yeah, I remember.
When she was like stealing, about to give it to the ex of the pimp. Like, hey, did everything right, and you trying to take all
I was
this
trying to get. Finally, he was trying. He was trying to get right in that movie with settling down with one girl, and she still did him dirty. Yeah, man.
So number 10, Lord Have Mercy.
That second verse, Prez is just that introspective Beans that I was referring to, I think on Change, But that one is where he got in his bag to where you can apply that shit to life, whether you a square or whether you in the streets. Like you can relate to that second verse. So I highly suggest y'all go to that second verse and analyze it, because that's one of his dopest songs while he's wrestling with his wrongs, but trying to make sense of it all because he wants the Lord to really have mercy on him when he's dead and gone for all the terrible shit he has done up to that point in life. So, and we go all relate.
Yeah, and then talking about dead and gone, his his little shout outs at the end, that's just classic. Next track, Flatline.
My boy Petey's back.
He's back. Pete crack cocaine.
He snapped. He snapped, man. I knock your fucking head off. Put one out. Like he come out the gate, man. And this song sound like these motherfuckers is in my mind. The track, if it was a video to it, is like they on the run. You know what I mean? And then the beat kind of keeps up. But then the raps is just, again, about nothing but killing and murdering people. I get it. But damn if they didn't execute tremendously on this track, man. I don't even have all of the verses lined up because I probably can't say them on camera with so many N-words in it. But, man.
Yeah, I don't think they make the Kevlar Scully.
Yeah. Beans went the fuck off, man. But, yo, again, I love their parent, man. I love that parent.
That Pete crack, man. Like we said earlier, man. We need more of it. All right, next one, Tale of a Hustler, featuring Emilio and Oskino.
Man, if Tales of a Hustler Part 2, go listen to Tales of a Hustler Part 1.
Yeah, my fault. It is Part 2 though.
Yeah, go listen to Part 1 because that was probably, in my opinion, Sparks' best verse. Man.
They bring you flowers when you're dead, but no soup while you're sick.
Man, Oskino, another group on rock that never put out an album that I think they could have put out something I would have enjoyed. I don't care about anybody else. Yeah. But Oskino and Sparks were those dudes, man. They just both got off-kilter flows.
Man, every time I hear Oskino, man, like our boy, Cornell, man, like that's who I picture like in that voice because he just sounds just like him, like on that grimy tape. And just hey, shout out to Cornell.
Shout out to the homie Cornell if you watching, man.
All right, number 13, we had Look at Me Now.
This is how you want to end. This is how they typically would end these songs, with these I made it type tracks in Rockefeller, if you kind of follow them and you're a huge Rockefeller fan. But this one was just like a conversation he was having.
Telling the story. Telling the story of like where he started at to where he got right now. Look at me now. Right. And that constantly playing in the background, that Look at Me Now, just harmonizing over the whole thing. Just
about who he was as an artist. He wasn't no commercial artist.
Mm-mm.
He wasn't no platinum selling artist. He went gold every single time out. He was just a damn good rapper. You know what I'm saying? And he could do the club joints. He could do the hard shit. He could do the introspective shit, but he just wasn't really going to forfeit that for his integrity. And I love that about Beans, man.
I mean, that's definitely how he came out on his first album. He told you it was going to be the truth. Right. May not be what you want to hear, but it's the truth.
Everything sounded serious.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah. So this just reminds me of so much promise in what he was doing, man. And I hate to say that. I hate that everything kind of didn't work out for him. As far as I think people give him his flowers, but this right here was just, it just seemed like he was happy and he felt like he was on the verge of greatness.
I'll tell you one thing that he wasn't doing. Bullshit with rap.
You bullshit with rap if you want. Cartoons, movies. Yeah, man. It's my shit, man.
All right, number 14. Finally get that Jay-Z feature on this one. It's on.
Man, this is one of the best Rockefeller back and forths between Beans and Jay. They have quite a few songs to where you can probably say, I don't know who got who.
Yeah.
On all of their songs that they've been on where it's just them, But my question is, Prez, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who you think got the best of who on this?
Man, I love it at the end when they going a little bit back and forth. Jay has some quotables up here. Jay has some good quotables up in here. Beans had some too, like the one we was talking about, breaking down Cash Money like Baby do.
You did soft
like baby food. And then like he gave him props right there. But then like I think like a line or two later he came back at him just like grown man. Baby who?
Shake my hand. Yeah, man.
Grown man, baby who? Like, don't be calling me no baby. I'm a grown man out here. Like, yeah, man. Like, and then what you got for Jay?
Yeah, man. I would say probably Jay got the best of Beans and it's by a smidgen. But every time I think I go back and forth with it, to be honest with you, every time I listen to it. But if I had to be put on the spot, I probably would say Jay got him, man. But this is just classic Rockefeller, man. And this is, if you don't put this in your Rockefeller playlist, something's wrong with you. Because this is the best song that these two have done to me. And they got a lot of dope joints, man. So it's song is fire, man.
So the one line that Jay-Z got that stand out to me is like, "Don't get carried away, you're a mule." Like, hey, so he was saying basically, don't get locked up, know your role, know where you stand up in the piece, but at the same time, it was like, don't get the big head, think you can come for the top people. Like, you ain't it yet. You still got a while to build. And then the final track, "Want It," featuring Cameron.
Yeah, this again, these two these two are bonus actually on this album, to be honest with you.
They were?
These
I can't remember.
These songs had already came out as Lucy's, but Beans took them or whatever. Like, if you listen to the original, some of its song was a full song, but I think Wanted was like, it had either Cam's verse or Beans verse, but they put it together and it was just Lucy's out there. But this is where my man Cam, another one of my favorite rappers, just came in, embodied it, man.
Yeah.
He came in and embodied it. So every last feature on this album, to me, they probably delivered not some of the best verses of their career, but like, they made their feature count. And I think, you can't ask for a better thing for people coming on your album to give it that type of respect. And I think that's comes from Beans and how good he really is and how much people respected his pen.
Yeah. And then, like, after this album, I'm telling you, you felt like the Rock gonna go on. It's definitely got it. Like, Beans solidified. Like, hey, he top dog. He can definitely like carry it at this point. That's kind of how I felt.
Right.
I mean, we know, hey, we know how it went. We know how it went down now. But I'm like, at that time, you was just like, okay, yeah, Beans gonna step it up. Like, so.
Yeah. So, with that said, man, if you like this video so far, you like this series, it's only the classic series. We, ask you to like and subscribe at this time. We love doing these things, so we're gonna keep on doing it. What's the next one on the agenda, Press?
We're gonna go for Kanye West, Graduation.
Another one under the radar. I know a lot of people like College Dropout and Late Registration, but to us, it's a clear and concise body of work, 13 tracks in and out. Graduation is one of those ones that don't really get mentioned, but when you go back to it, it's hard to find a flaw.
It's hard. So we'll continue on with the series. Like we love doing these. So
yeah. Before we go on, man, Beans, if you listen to this, man, prayers to you, man. Come out with something else. We just hope we checking for it. If nobody else is, we checking for it. So this is Don't Sleep on the Couch podcast. I'm Cash, and to my right,
Mr. Prez.
Hey, we out of here.
Let's go.